Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. The Warriors will update their roster and want to bring in reinforcements to achieve their goal, which is to give Stephen Curry his fifth title. The Golden State Warriors enter the offseason needing to address some key holes in their roster as they try to chase another championship next season with their star trio leading the way. Golden State is coming off a solid season that saw them reach the second round of the playoffs behind their veteran trio of Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. Unfortunately for the Warriors, they were eliminated in 5 games by the Minnesota Timberwolves in the second round after Curry suffered a hamstring injury in Game 1. Now the Warriors enter the offseason looking to upgrade their roster around their aging trio as they try to capitalize on their championship window. For Golden State, one area they need to upgrade this summer is their frontcourt, and a recent 3-team mock trade posted on X by Ball Report would help them do just that. In the trade, the Warriors would receive Santi Aldama from the Memphis Grizzlies in a sign-and-trade deal while sending Moses Moody to the Brooklyn Nets. For the Grizzlies, they would acquire Derek Whitehead and Keon Johnson from Brooklyn and a 2026 first-round pick swap from Golden State. This trade would be a solid one for the Warriors as they would add Aldama, who would be a massive upgrade to their frontcourt and would also help them space the floor. Aldama is coming off a season in which he averaged 12.5 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 2.9 assists per game while shooting 48.3% from the field and 36.8% from three-point range. The 6'11" forward would be a great fit alongside Green in the starting lineup, or the Warriors could also elect to have him come off the bench in the second unit. While this trade could work out well for Golden State, moving on from a young guard and Moses Moody would be a tough decision, and they could instead look to package Moody and other players in a trade for a bigger name. Either way, the Warriors do need to address their frontcourt this summer, and Aldama would be a solid addition to their roster. Jonathan Kuminga could be re-signed by the Warriors. Jonathan Kuminga's future with the Golden State Warriors has been a heavily discussed topic over the past year. Kuminga has potential without question, but his playing time has been inconsistent with Golden State. As a result, some rumors have suggested that Kuminga could land with a new team this offseason. With that being said, NBA insider Brett Siegel of Clutch Points recently reported that a Kuminga Warriors reunion is receiving some momentum. However, a return to the Warriors for the 22-year-old forward has gained some momentum, league sources said, Siegel wrote in a recent article. Kuminga, a 22-year-old, would surely draw the attention of many teams around the league. A 6'7" forward, Kuminga provides versatility in addition to intriguing scoring potential. He can realistically guard multiple positions on defense while playing a number of roles on the offensive end of the floor. The Warriors forward averaged just over 24 minutes per outing during the 2024-25 campaign and still averaged 15.3 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 2.2 assists per game. Kuminga was limited to just 47 total games played, but he performed well for the most part in those matchups. In 2023-24, Kuminga recorded 16.1 points per game across 74 total contests. He has displayed the ability to play at a high level throughout the course of a full season. The Warriors need to decide if Jonathan Kuminga is a player who they want to include in their plans for the future. Golden State features an older core of players with Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler leading the way. The team is hopeful that the veterans can find success in the short-term future, but the Warriors also have to consider the long-term outlook. If Kuminga doesn't fit into their future plans, then a trade could come to fruition. Of course, there is a chance that Golden State decides that Kuminga is indeed someone who can help the Warriors for years to come. His ceiling is exciting without question. Regardless of whether or not Kuminga stays in Golden State, he projects to be a future star at the NBA level. 3-team Warriors trade pitch lands versatile big man. The Golden State Warriors were forced to start Draymond Green at center for most of the 2025 NBA playoffs due to the lack of frontcourt depth. While Quinton Post and Kevin Looney backed up Green, the Warriors didn't get much production out of either big man in 12 playoff games. Fadeaway World proposed a 3-team Warriors trade that would fetch Golden State Santi Aldama, a versatile big man who averaged 12.5 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 2.9 assists last season, while making an impressive 1.8 threes per game. Warriors would receive Santi Aldama. Grizzlies would receive Noah Clowney, Keon Johnson, 2026 first-round pick swap. Nets would receive Moses Moody, 2030 second-round pick, GSW. A perfect fit with the Warriors. The trade would see the Warriors part with Moses Moody and a 2026 first-round pick swap, which seems like a fair package for Aldama. At 6 feet 11 inches, Aldama boasts tremendous skill at his size, wrote Siddhant Gupta. His versatility as a playmaking big man was showcased last season with the Grizzlies. But the forward's game isn't predicated only on his fundamental skills. He has also shown great mobility and athleticism at his size. This has made him a menacing defender, capable of guarding multiple positions owing to his switchability. In the aftermath of the playoffs, Warriors head coach Steve Kerr said he hopes to see Green return to his natural position of power forward in the 2025-26 season. "I don't want to start next season with Draymond as our starting five," Kerr said in his exit press conference, via NBC Sports Bay Area. "I think it's doable for the last 30 games like we did this year, but you see the toll it takes on him. He's talked about it too." Green not expected to play center. Green was grateful for Kerr's comments, while admitting that playing center took a toll on his body in the playoffs, hampering his ability to play defense at a high level. "As far as what Steve said, God bless his heart," Green said, via NBC Sports Bay Area. "It was real because playing the five, it's hard. And I'm always down to do it, as you know, like any challenge you throw my way, I'll take on the challenge, but it's hard battling every night guys who outweigh me by 60 to 80 pounds. And they're 4 inches or 5 inches, 7 inches taller than me. It does take a toll." According to multiple insiders, any and all talk of a Warriors trade in the 2025 offseason would be centered around Jonathan Kuminga, a restricted free agent. Hoopshype's Michael Scotto reported on June 16 that the Bulls and Heat have expressed interest in acquiring Kuminga via sign-and-trade deals. The Chicago Bulls and Miami Heat are two teams to monitor as potential sign-and-trade candidates for Kuminga, league sources told Hoopshype. With that in mind, the Warriors have also not ruled out the possibility of retaining Kuminga, sources said, Scotto wrote. The Warriors could potentially seek a player such as Nikola Vucevic, who has been on the Warriors' radar since the trade deadline, or even Haywood Highsmith, a versatile big man from the Heat. Despite a late-season surge that saw them reach the second round of the NBA playoffs, the Golden State Warriors know they can't sit idle with a roster built around the veteran trio of Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. Yet with so many dollars tied up in those three players, the Warriors' hopes of landing another sizable, difference-making piece is limited. Fortunately, the financial issues of another rival team could gift them the perfect opportunity to take a big swing this offseason. The Warriors could capitalize on the Celtics' situation. Ever since their own second-round playoff elimination and the disastrous torn Achilles injury to Jason Tatum, speculation and intrigue has mounted on what the Boston Celtics will do this offseason. With the payroll headed above the second tax apron but the franchise unlikely to contend next season due to Tatum's injury, something may have to give in regard to one or multiple of their key players. This is what makes Boston an obvious next trade partner for Golden State, with Anthony Slater of The Athletic suggesting to monitor the Celtics situation on the latest episode of the Warriors Plus Minus podcast. "I'm very curious Boston's eventual direction here. Their desire to shed salary, and they've obviously got a lot of pieces that could feel like what the Warriors believe is the final piece of a contender," Slater said. "That's a team I'm monitoring particularly with the Warriors. Kristaps Porzingis and Derek White were both identified as obvious potential fits for the Warriors, both of who would provide more spacing for a team that significantly struggled following Curry's hamstring injury in the second round against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Porzingis is set to make $30.7 million on the final year of his contract, but is likely to cost far less from an asset standpoint in a trade. The Latvian's injury and health history is well chronicled, having appeared in just 42 games this season before dealing with a mystery illness in the playoffs that rendered him nearly unplayable. White is about to start a 4-year, $118 million contract, but would presumably cost far more in terms of future picks and/or young players. The 6 feet 4 inches guard is coming off a career-best scoring season where he averaged 16.4 points, 4.5 rebounds and 4.8 assists per game, shooting 38.4% on over 9 three-point attempts per game and even generating All-Star selection buzz given his two-way impact. The 7 feet 3 inches Porzingis would arguably fill more of a hole given Golden State's uncertainty around the center position. The White would likely have more impact in Steve Kerr's system and with his far greater durability. It's still going to be difficult for the Warriors to execute a deal for Porzingis or White, but the Celtics' uncertainty and their host of valuable players makes them a clear candidate to be a trade partner this summer. Warriors should target surprise title winner on a bargain deal. He'd fit in well. The Golden State Warriors teetered on the irrelevance line last season, making it seem like their days of winning another title with Steph Curry were officially over. That is when the front office stepped in, pulling off the surprise Jimmy Butler trade and signing him to an extension before he played a single game. The season didn't end as the Warriors hoped it would. Curry's injury derailed it, but the title window remains open with their superstar guard, Butler, and Draymond Green. As ESPN's Bobby Marks said, the Warriors' free agency relies on what happens with Jonathan Kuminga, who will be a restricted free agent. If he re-signs with Golden State, that will severely hinder what else the team can do in the offseason. Like other teams in the world of the CBA, the Warriors need to find a way to improve their roster without paying a high price. Is there a proven winner out there that Golden State could get for cheap? Yes, there is, and it happens to be someone who fans have wanted to see on the Warriors in the past. Bruce Brown will be an unrestricted free agent this summer. He spent the last half of the 2024-25 season with the Pelicans, a team he shouldn't want to stay with if he wants to win another title. The new regime in New Orleans might not want to keep Brown, anyway. Warriors could target Bruce Brown in free agency. Golden State could take a page out of Denver's book, signing Brown to a low-cost contract and hoping he'll help them win a championship. He did that with the Nuggets as a key contributor off the bench in what was his best season in the league. Brown averaged 11.5 points, 4.1 rebounds, 3.4 assists, and 1.1 steals per game in Denver, 80 contests, shooting 48.3% from the field and 35.8% from three. Brown upped his value so much that season that the Nuggets couldn't afford to keep him. He signed a 2-year, $45 million contract with the Pacers. Brown spent half a season in Indiana before he was traded to Toronto as part of the Pascal Siakam deal. Having Brown's playmaking, scoring, and defense off the bench would be especially beneficial when the playoffs roll around. He's the kind of high-impact winning player that the Warriors need, but that quality is why other contenders will be interested in him this summer. Brown could reunite with the Nuggets. He loved the time he spent in Denver so much that he has visited several times since leaving, including sitting courtside at one of the Nuggets' playoff games a couple of months ago. Brown should undoubtedly be on the Warriors' radar, although it seems the stars are aligning for him to return to Denver. It'd be hard for him to turn down an opportunity to play alongside Curry and Butler.